Hi, I'm Ray Perez. I'm the Good News Jail and Prison Ministry Chaplain here in Northern Virginia at the Prince William Manassas Regional Adult Detention Center. Most people, when they drive by the Adult Detention Center, which is attached to the courthouse, would not realize that almost 1,000 inmates live in that complex. And in that complex, we have almost 350 volunteers that come in to serve in the facility to do Bible studies and worship services, lead prayer meetings, teach in our Mind and our WIN programs. Volunteers are the backbone of the ministry there, and I'm deeply, deeply thankful for what they do every single week. We have a program called the Mind Dorm and the WIN Dorm, and these dorms were initiated with the express purpose of teaching men and women how to function in a totally new direction so that they're not continuing in a pattern that would get them reincarcerated all over again. And I personally oversee 3 of these dorms. One dorm has 24 women, that's the female dorm. I have 2 male dorms. One houses 16 inmates and the other one houses 33 inmates. So we have direct responsibility over almost 80 inmates on a weekly basis. It is a 13-week program which is faith-based. We have 10 classes every single week, about an hour and a half each, that local volunteers come in to serve and to teach and to disciple the men and women in that program. And what they're doing really is taking biblical philosophy and integrating it into life principles so that these inmates learn how to be better fathers, how to be better mothers, how to interact and be better employees. They learn skills of how to resolve conflict and how to raise their children. Many of these men and women have never had the mentoring to help them understand what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman, and we teach those principles. And basically what we're trying to do is equip them with skills that will sustain them when they go back out into the community so that they will not fail and come right back to the facility. So what we're doing is we're literally teaching men and women to move in a totally new direction. Thus, men in a new direction and women in new direction. What I'm trying to do, and my objective is really to engage inmates at a level where they can not only embrace the gospel, but literally become so comfortable with the way in which a Christian believer lives out their weekly and their daily life, so that it becomes familiar enough to them so that when they go back into the community, it'd be very natural for them to just plug right back into the local church. Beyond the ministry inside the facility, I also have a broader vision to see inmates be able to make a transition from the jail back into the community in a safe housing context. So we have a vision to develop housing for post-release care. That's not necessarily directly related to Good News Jail and Prison Ministry, but it is a passion of mine because I understand that if men and women go back to the same community that they came out of and they don't have a safe place to go, that the likelihood of them reoffending is exponentially higher. But if there's a place that's safe, that they can continue to be nurtured, and similarly to what they are experiencing in the Mind and the WIN programs, a continued discipleship while they're in the community, then I really believe that we can not only redeem a few, but literally hundreds and hundreds coming out of that jail could potentially be redeemed, renewed, and then released to do the work of ministry that God has for them. I really want to express my gratefulness to the church community and the support that they give to me on a monthly basis. I couldn't do what I do as a chaplain without the partnerships that are available to me through God's people in the community. And those are both churches that support me as well as individuals that have partnered with me and have captured the vision of what we're doing. I very rarely ask for money because, to me, I really believe that when we do what God has called us to do, He is absolutely capable of meeting our financial needs. And I believe that as I continue to be faithful to what God has called me to do, that God's people will come alongside and partner with me because their heart is drawn to the very things that I'm doing. I want to tell you about a young man that came into the program, the Mind Dorm, and he was broken, had lost his way, and made a very serious decision that had significant consequences. And he ended up going to the state system, the state prison system. But he was a young man that literally embraced God in such a unique way that his transformation was almost like Timothy in the Bible, not despising his youth. It was an incredible story of somebody who really embraced the truth of the gospel and then was installed as a mentor in the program because his wisdom was so far beyond his age that he literally was discipling older men in how to respond to God. He is a marvelous example of just how powerful not only the Word of God is, but the moving of the Spirit and the engaging of God's people in serving to sow and to nurture and to water the seed of revelation that was placed in this young man's heart. An incredible story of God's grace and God's deliverance and God's using a vessel that had been broken, but God restored in a powerful way.